The best gymnasts in the nation are inside Dickies Arena here in Fort Worth, Texas. It's night 1 of 2 for the women at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Terry Gannon, Sam Petchik, John Roethlisberger, and Zora Stephenson here watching the action. We go right to the gymnast, widely considered to be the greatest of all time, Simone Biles, who will start over on vault. So 2 years away from the sport, she comes back last summer and just builds from there. Recently at Classic, the Core Hydration Classic, we saw her add more difficult elements, go back to some of those elements we saw in the past. Right now at the National Championships tonight, this is part of that path to Paris. Not only are national titles on the line, but you're trying to make the Olympic team. Where does she stand, Sam?
I mean, so many people ask, is she just as good as she was in her prime? And I'd argue to say that she's better because she has this maturity and calmness about her when she competes. It's a look in her eye, and when she goes to salute, you can just see she's really comfortable with all of her skills right now.
All right, on vault, you compete in the all-around here, but also individual apparatus titles on the line this week. If you can go for the vault one, you've got to do 2 vaults each of the 2 nights. What are we expecting?
She's going to do 2 vaults here. One of them is legendary. It's a Yurchenko double pike. It's named after her. And the big conversation is, will her coach stand on the podium or not? And it's a big discussion because at World Championships last year, she took a deduction, half of a point deduction, and she would have won vault at World Championships even with a fall. And so she's going to be doing it without our coach standing there.
There he is, Laurent Landy. Laurent and Cecile Landy, based in Spring, Texas. Coached her the last time around, still coaching her. That discussion with them about coming back to try to make it to Paris, and well on the path right now. Anytime she is up on this apparatus, it is special, but especially this one.
It is such a work of art to get to witness this vault right here. We may never see it again from a female athlete.
Here we go.
Man.
And there you go.
To have too much power over rotating a vault that big is just incredible.
So that's the start to the evening here in our coverage. Simone Biles with Biles 2, Yurchenko double pike. Just like that, making it look easy.
She's making me think that I could do a Yurchenko double pike. Look at the block off the table. She gets so high, knows exactly where she is. Spotting the landing is really important, and she does that well. You're gonna notice her arms are straight on the table. That maximizes her block to get so much height, getting enough rotation for 2 flips. Huge.
Sam, nothing against anybody else, but the hang time, the air that she gets on that is just so much better than anyone in this sport.
Yeah, and she absolutely does not need her coach standing there, but the coaches felt like it was important to practice that in a meet setting because of the visual component. When you're flipping, even though it's fast, you still notice your peripheral of what's around you.
So now the second vault in just a moment here as action takes place. As you know, 4 different locations. We'll have 4 rotations, and tonight this is a part, as I say, not only of winning national championships, but the top 2 here are tonight and the next night of competition are guaranteed spots at the Olympic trials, and then from there the team is selected.
Yeah, it's an important step to Paris to prove they're comfortable with the skills.
15-8, are you okay with that?
Wow.
Difficulty, execution, huge number.
We will not see a number that high for the rest of the competition. Really starting on a high here.
Feel comfortable saying that.
I feel comfortable saying that. Simone has so much difficulty. It's like she starts a competition and everybody else has already fallen twice. Again, no problems with that vault. What stands out to me is just how easy she got to the landing position. You want your chest to be vertical when your feet hit the ground, and she did that perfectly.
What a start, huh? Simone Biles on vault. So the 8-time U.S. all-around champ gets us started. It's night one for the women in Fort Worth. NBC Sports welcomes you before Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. We were here in 2021, lead up to the Olympics, back again. Terry Gannon, Sam Pescic, part of that Olympic silver medal team in 2008. John Roethlisberger, 4-time U.S. all-around champ and a 3-time U.S. Olympian. So some things have taken place already prior to Simone Biles on vault. How about the reigning Olympic floor gold medalist, Jade Carey, and that's where she started. The 24-year-old from Phoenix, a star at Oregon State, and here on the elite level again.
She competed every weekend in NCAA, so starting in January, and has been slowly building in her higher difficulty skills. You're going to notice this first tumbling pass, 2 flips, 2 twists in a laid out position. Wow. Her next 2 tumbling passes are not full strength yet. They're adding 1 thing at a time. Pacing has been important for Jade, and it's really showing up.
Sam, that's part of the planning too, peaking at the right time, right? Olympic trials and then the Olympics, not having every bit of difficulty in there right now.
It's hard to stay at the top of your game for so many months, so I respect these veteran athletes for taking their own approach. Really good start for Jade Carey.
Get the sense sometimes she's overlooked.
She is, and she actually said that's her secret weapon when I talked to her.
Yeah, so 13-6 for the reigning Olympic champ on floor exercise. That's the start for Jade Carey. All right, over to the balance beam, and the reigning Olympic all-around gold medalist, Suni Lee. Star at Auburn since that time, but also coming back from serious illness, 2 different types of kidney disease. Says it's in remission now, getting the medication right. Been really difficult the road back, but here she is at Nationals.
And she's starting on a good event for her. She's actually won U.S. Classic just 2 weeks ago on this event without even her full difficulty. You know, Terry, you probably know this, but gymnastics is more a mental sport. So the conversation between Suni and her coach have been, she has the endurance, but she hasn't done the same amount of numbers to convince her mind that she should have the confidence. So every moment she competes is really adding it to the bank.
Oh, wow, what a save.
Oh, great save. Crooked there on that triple series. And then you get a little rattled. It's tough to put that in the past and continue your routine. So not the best one we've seen from Suni.
But Sam, she hasn't competed in the elite all-around since Tokyo. College, yes, but at this level, all 4 of those apparatus and rotations. 14.2 the number for Suni Lee. All right, one of the top names expected to compete and certainly expected to be a part of the Olympic team at this point. Shilese Jones announced earlier today she was withdrawing from this event because of a shoulder injury. You had a chance to talk to her.
Yeah, she mentioned after Classics that it was giving her a hard time, so she got an injection last Tuesday. She was training just a little bit, and then here at championships, she was really struggling with the pain still. So doctors and trainers suggested that she sits this one out, and she wants everybody to know that she's fine. If this was Olympic trials or the Olympics, she'd be competing, and she's really prioritizing her health.
You got it.
And we would certainly expect her to be part of the Olympic trials and to be able to earn a spot on the Olympic team if she competes well there.
Certainly. They only decided not to compete because they've already followed the procedures for petitioning. So they're hoping to find out as soon as possible that hopefully she will make Olympic trials and we'll see her competing there.
One of the big names not competing here tonight and this weekend. But plenty of big names all over the place, everywhere you look. One of the alternates for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Kayla DiCello, earlier on uneven bars, the 20-year-old from Boyd's, Maryland.
This is an important event. She said she just needs to trust herself here. She struggled a bit 2 weeks ago at Classics, but this is an athlete that puts in the numbers. So I would be willing to bet it fueled her in practice. Nice distance away from the bar on those release moves. Good combination. This is looking really nice for Kayla. You can tell she's worked on those details and she looked confident. That's what she wanted to do here.
Went to college, competed for the Florida Gators, and helped them to a second-place finish at the NCAA Championships. Number 14.5.
That's a great start for Kayla. I know she was disappointed after U.S. Classics, and it's a little bit of a redemption, especially to start on a hit routine.
Little guide with the green next to it. That's very good. Yellow's in the middle, and then red. You don't want to be in red, a low number, but that's certainly in green. And the U.S. vault champ from 2023, Jocelyn Robertson, the 18-year-old now from Texarkana, Texas, who is training with the Landys and same gym as Simone Biles in Spring, Texas.
Yeah, she tore 75% of her left ankle deltoid while warming up at World Championships just last year. But she's back, doing full difficulty. When we saw her compete just a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like she didn't quite have enough numbers, but looking a lot more strong here at championships.
Yeah, it was a big year for her last year, making that World Championship team, and then the injury, she was out for a full 2 months, but says she's back 100% now. So Jordan Childs, another one of those names from Tokyo and the Olympics, and already dancing here. If you're just checking back in, watching gymnastics, going to get a lot of that. Expressive, entertaining, explosive. She started on vault.
Nicely done. Good chest position when she lands. You can see she was amped up for that vault.
Big part of that team silver when Simone Biles stepped aside there in Tokyo. 14.15 the number.
Yeah, so not as much difficulty. You see that in the D score with a 5 there as Simone Biles' vault, but her execution, that E score, is above a 9.0, which is out of a 10. So 9.15 is a really good score.
All right, how about the two-time world team champ Sky Blakely? Last couple of years, very much in the mix for Paris now. And 4th at the all-around last year at the U.S. Championship. She started on uneven bars.
Struggled a couple weeks ago at Classics. So it's really important that she shows consistency here. She said she's been doing a lot of visualizing with the arena to simulate this moment. Great pirouette, straight on top of the bar. That's what the judges are looking for, those handstands. Clean gymnastics. Her legs were together. She works bars beautifully. And nice rhythm from start to finish. So that's going to be a good score.
Had that fall a few weeks ago at the Core Hydration Classic, the U.S. Classic, if you will, but not that time. 14.4, the number with an 8.5 execution for Sky. All right, earlier in this opening rotation as well, Leanne Wong, the 20-year-old from Overland Park, Kansas, a 4-time world medalist and 3 straight trips to the World Championships. Certainly a part of that mix. When you think about the possible Olympic team, 5 members this time, by the way, at the Olympics.
And this is her first time doing this floor routine. She reconstructed it to add a 4th pass again. So it's the same as last year if you're a Leanne Wong fan. What Leanne Wong does maybe better than anyone else is the finesse in her gymnastics. She minimizes deductions better than anyone I've ever seen, and that's really an asset on all the teams she's been on. Adding a 4th pass, you might wonder if she has enough endurance, and it proves that she does.
3rd in the all-around last year at the U.S. Championships. She says, I've matured. I've taken control of my training now. I'm in the driver's seat. 13.7, the number on floor exercise for Leanne Wong. So we're off and running, and I don't even have to check the standings, although it's right up there, left-hand corner, 15.8. Yes, Simone Biles with the lead here. Rotation 1, night 1 for the women. The 2024 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships, brought to you by Core Hydration. Whatever wellness journey you're on, you have to start somewhere. Start at the core. By Nike, introducing the Nike Air Max DN, featuring dynamic air. The next generation of air technology is here. Air Max DN, feel the unreal. By Prevagen. And by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seats in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. 1 rotation in the books here, night 1 for the women at the National Championships. It is Simone Biles leading the way after that extraordinary vault. So 15.8 is the number. Kayla DiCello, Sky Blakely, and down Jordan Childs sharing 6th place. We saw her open up on vault as well. Also in that opening rotation, Trinity Thomas was on floor and didn't go well at one point. John Roethlisberger, we're going to bring him in. You know more, John?
Yeah, I went over and I talked to one of our coaches, Owen Field, about what happened on floor exercise. She landed short. He said she's okay, but she stung her ankles. She is not going to vault. I said, is she going to compete on any other events? He said, not sure. Really a disappointment. You know, a long shot to make that Olympic team, but Sam, I think you'd agree, certainly somebody who could have been at the Olympic trials. So hopefully it's okay. Hopefully she can get back in this competition.
Yeah, she's an incredible athlete. I love watching her at the University of Florida, and of course, has tied that perfect 10 record with 28 perfect 10s in college. Already an incredible career. Yeah, great career. One of the best we've seen in college, Trinity Thomas. As we continue here, rotation 2 coming up. Back here in Fort Worth, opening night for the women, the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships, that eventual makeup of the Olympic team. Let's get the thoughts of John Roethlisberger. John?
Yeah, guys, the goal of the Olympic Selection Committee is to pick the 5 athletes who will provide the 3 best possible scores across all 4 events. The reason it's 3 scores is because in the Olympic team finals, each team will put up 3 gymnasts on each event. All 3 of those scores must count. So the idea is to maximize your strengths while avoiding any major weaknesses. But let's put together a hypothetical team. A lot of people believe if Simone Biles and Shilese Jones continue to do the gymnastics they've done over the last year or so and stay healthy, that they will likely be on that team. Both of these athletes also did every event at the most recent World Championship team final. So let's slot them in for our argument's sake. Now, what does the selection committee do? They have one more spot on each event to fill, and they can do it with 3 athletes. Do they pick an all-arounder that's consistent across 4 events, but maybe doesn't have the huge potential score like a Simone Biles? That would be a Kayla DiCello or Leanne Wong or a Jordan Childs. Or do they do a different route? Let's look at 2 athletes specifically, Jade Carey and Suni Lee. Jade Carey, Olympic champion on floor. She's been a world champion on vault. Suni Lee, world class on beam and bars. They would likely be put on that team only for their 2 respective events. That is where they can help Team USA. So it's really a balance. Where does the selection committee go? Do they go for consistency? Do they swing big and go for the fences with athletes like these 2 right here? Guys, it's really a puzzle that has a lot of different solutions, but the bottom line is these athletes need to prove it today through the end of the Olympic trials.
Lisa Sacramone, a teammate of yours in 2008, part of that selection committee. And so it's not just picking the best 5 from tonight in the Olympic trials. It is that puzzle.
Well, it's an important strategy that you factor in lots of prior competitions, their current standings, their difficulty, and obviously their productivity in what they can score consistently. I'm happy I'm not them. That's all I got to say. There's a lot of good options to choose from here.
That is the thing. I mean, there are so many great gymnasts here in this building tonight. And then you've got Shilese Jones, who is injured and not competing tonight. But you can go a number of different ways.
Yeah, well, fun fact, Terry, Alicia Sacramone right there on the left was my roommate at the Olympic Games in 2008. So we both know what these athletes are going through the year of the Olympics. It's tough mentally and physically.
Gonna have to pick her brain, get some stories about that time as your roommate there. High performance program and strategic lead. So it will be a difficult decision. You've got a number of different athletes who are certainly in the mix. All right, Leanne Wong over on vault, and this is her 2nd vault.
And she's the athlete that you know what you're going to get. She can jump in at any moment.
Star at Florida, pre-med major, 4.0 GPA in the spring. Not bad.
Yeah, and this is the event that she got thrown in at World Championships last year.
Back to her first vault now, Sam.
Yeah, and ended up putting up a really good number for Team USA. Yurchenko double full. Nicely done. That Yurchenko is a round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table.
So the number for that opening vault, 14.2. The 2 vaults, again, just for the apparatus finals, and the 2 added together, you take the average. But this is the one in the all-around. So 9.2 for execution. All right, how about Jade Carey, another gymnast that John just talked about, 13th place after the opening rotation. Comes off a disappointing season last year, was 15th in the all-around at the U.S. Championships after that great Olympic experience in Tokyo, and said that kind of fueled her this time around too, to motivate her to come back and have a great national championship.
Yeah, she said she felt like she wasn't prepared last year, so it was important for her to get the numbers in, do some extra strength training. And when I talked to her about vault, it's one of her strengths, she said it's all about the run for her. So a lot of times people think you need to run as fast as possible. That's not quite true. You need to run as fast and as controlled as possible. The control is the important part there. And an athlete like Jade, you actually want to slow down your run because she's so powerful. The round off right there is where she taps into her power.
Remember in Tokyo, it was a misstep on that run that took her out of contention. She was one of the top contenders for the gold. Big disappointment, and then she wins the gold on floor exercise.
Yeah, that was a comeback redemption story for the books. That round off right there, that's where she initiates the power for the rest of the vault. And, you know, Terry, it's crazy how fast a vault happens, and the intricate details of every little part of it are so important to the result and the success of each vault.
Saw her dad out there, her coach. Brian Carey is also an assistant at Oregon State, where she's been a star. Seeing more and more of that. There he is. Of not the gymnast-dad relationship, but athletes coming from the elite level, an Olympic experience, and then going being a star in college, and then coming back.
Yeah, they talk about the great communication they have, and they always mention that the plan is in pencil. And that means you can adjust at any moment depending on how she's feeling that day.
Guys, I saw the pencil, by the way. It's a tiny little notebook that Brian Carey carries in his pocket. Looks like he's had it for about 10 years, but it's got all the notes you mentioned, Sam.
But it's old school.
It is.
It's not a tablet or anything.
It's
yeah.
No iPad. It's pretty incredible.
Second vault.
Yurchenko double full. We're seeing a lot of those in the competition, and it's actually an easier vault than what she's preparing to do later.
See that top three. Keep the running totals as we go here. Night one for the women at the National Championships.
Welcome back into Fort Worth, everyone. Suni Lee is about to go on floor. Terry and Sam were talking about some of the kidney challenges that Suni continues to work through. Health is really pivotal to her diet and everything that she does. Her coach, Jess Graba, told me low sodium foods are really hard to come by on the road. They have bought air fryers in every single city so they can cook chicken or salmon in the hotel room. As Suni's health continues to improve, restaurants are now an option, but they have to make sure that the food is bland and basic. Suni said people just don't understand how hard it has been and how incredible it is that she's even doing gymnastics. She told me having a doctor tell you that you probably won't ever be able to do your sport again is heartbreaking. And after months of just trying to get through routines, Suni and her team have some goals this week. They're hoping for a top 5 finish.
Sure, thank you. And here she is on floor.
Looks powerful in that opening pass. Regaining her strength has been a really important part of her progression in this comeback.
It's interesting, her coach also told us her endurance is almost there. She now needs to believe that her endurance is there.
It's really hard for an elite athlete. You're told at a young age that you have to do so many numbers in order to gain your confidence. But as you get older, you actually want to rely on your mental training a little bit more, so it's not as taxing on your body, and that's where she is in her training. Being more intentional with the quality over quantity. They use each of these moments in competition as practice. That's what she's lacking right now, is a little bit of training. So her coach, Jess Graba, right there, knows that each time she competes, it's a great opportunity.
Two-time U.S. all-around silver medalist, Suni Lee. We'll get the number in a moment. Meanwhile, Kayla DiCello in second place, so right there after the opening rotation. So you see that top three, that is up to the second, and Simone Biles still to come on uneven bars here in the second rotation.
Kayla's an athlete that is typically icy. She competes with ice in her veins and unfortunately had some mistakes at the last classics. So this is a big moment for her to prove that consistency in big moments.
Just one more thing about the top three up there. There are 4 different things taking place at the same time. So that updates in the moment, as I said. Try to show you as much of every routine as we can. Those top contenders.
We saw that adjustment with her first skill. So the important thing for Kayla now is to not take that one mistake and turn it into 2. Good job bringing it back on that series. If there's one athlete I would be willing to bet is going to make their beam routine here, it's Kayla DiCello. Did you hear what her coach does? Sometimes she throws pit blocks alongside her to distract her. Sometimes she yells, the beam is moving. I mean, this has to be easier than all of that training.
Like it's not hard enough.
I love it.
Dismount there.
And that's an upgraded dismount for Kayla this year, and she seems to have no problems incorporating that.
Time for 8th at the U.S. Championships in the all-around last year. Suni Lee 13.25 for the floor exercise.
It looks good. She has a strong execution score and not quite the difficulty of some of the athletes here, but that'll come.
So in first after that opening rotation, she started on vault, now goes to uneven bars. Simone Biles, who you go back to Rio and just talking to her since then, said a little bit uneasy when I go to uneven bars compared to the others.
Yeah, it's an event that she doesn't have a weak event, but maybe it's her weak event in saying that. So for her, the quickness and rhythm is really important. High flying release moves. The efficiency of the construction of this bar routine is something the selection committee looks out. And of course, that double-double is back. That is one of the upgrades we saw 2 weeks ago. Now she's 2 for 2. She's gaining that confidence right back.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, listen in. At Classic, added some more, now back some of those skills and just building on the way to trials and then to Paris.
Yeah, she hadn't done that since the Tokyo Games, so this is now twice she's competed it, and getting comfortable is important in those pressure moments.
So get that number in a moment. Earlier over on bars, shares 6th place after rotation 1, Jordan Childs. Every time I watch her on this, I think about Tokyo, the team event, and stepping in and stepping up in a big way.
Yeah, she has the potential when she has that look in her eye, and I've seen it this weekend. Her gymnastics is looking really sharp, and I like to say crispy. You know she's gonna hit it right when she lets go of the bar. There is no doubt in her mind. This is looking flawless. Her execution score should be very high.
Standing out from her coach, Laurent Landy, who taught her, she said, how to breathe during that routine. 14.5 the number for Childs.
And that's 2/10 higher than her classic score just 2 weeks ago.
And guys, we talk about fitting together a team, and if they do pick a strong all-arounder, we mentioned DiCello, Childs, and some of these all-around athletes, they're all, and Sky Blakely, they're all within a 10th on bars in this competition. So talk about how hard it is for that selection committee to pick somebody on an important event like bars. Some of the contenders so tightly packed together.
DiCello 14-1 on beam a few moments ago.
But it's a good problem to have so many talented athletes going for the same spots here.
Well, they just kept winning world championships as well as a team, and so does Simone as an individual.
I'm willing to bet that this Olympic team is going to be the most decorated team before they even get to an Olympic Games.
Won her 6th world all-around title this past summer. 14.65.
Oh, okay. It's still, all your hand signs were good. Okay.
All right, 16-year-old from Pleasanton, California, Gianna Sumina-Sekera, just about set to go over on bars. Second season, the senior level as an elite gymnast.
This is an athlete that I've really been impressed with over the last couple of years. Just her improvement from moving to WCC. This event right here is a major reason why she moved.
World Champion Center with Landis, where Simone Biles trains.
Laurent is known as a very good technical coach on this event. She's struggling through this bar routine a bit, a little far from the bar and her release moves, but fighting through it. Looks like her rhythm is back on track, right into this dismount. And it's a hit routine for Tiana.
Share of 8th last year in the all-around at the U.S. Championships. Everything amped up a little bit more, though, in an Olympic season on the road to Paris. Back with a look at the numbers for Tiana Suminasekara, 12.75, so lower than she had hoped for.
Yeah, you see that execution score, 7.45. That's out of a 10.0, so you could see her struggling through that routine. Saved herself a fall, which is a 1-point deduction, but definitely could be better, and we could see improvement here on day 2.
All right, so still in rotation 2, Sky Blakely in 3rd after the opening rotation, the 19-year-old from Frisco, Texas, on balance beam, and an important routine for her, Sam.
Yeah, this is the most important routine for her. She is a really beautiful beam worker, but she's got to stay on the beam. Her skills are magnificent, so that trust and belief in herself is really important. Her start value, that D score on this event for Sky, is one of the highest in the competition. Open, standing full, beautifully done. She told me that earlier this year, the night before a meet, she wrote down at Starbucks her score she wanted to get. It was a 14.8, and she got exactly that score. So she really believes in the power of manifesting and positive affirmations in order to help her gymnastics.
Pretty wild she hit it right on the number, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive to, the power of the mind is, it's impressive. That 2 steps on her dismount was the biggest deduction I saw in her routine. That has to give her some confidence.
Yeah, solid number, 14.45, upper left, you see, right behind Simone Biles here through 2 rotations. It is Simone leading the way midway through for her this event here in Fort Worth. Back with a look at the standings after the second rotation midway through here. Simone Biles with the lead. She'll go to balance beam next and then eventually to floor exercise. Pretty impressive. Sky Blakely right there in second, just ahead of Jordan Giles right now.
Yeah, these results are looking good. You see 2, 3, and 4 are pretty close together, and that's really what we would expect from these athletes. Jordan and Kayla have proven their consistency, and they want to show up in a big way here.
Hey, John, you have more?
Yeah, Kalia Lincoln, unfortunately, like Trinity Thomas, will not compete the rest of this competition. Apparently in the podium training on vault, she injured her ankle. Wasn't as serious as she thought. She tried to compete through it today and just wasn't happening. So she is pulled out of the meet. Talked with her coach, Yevgeny Marchenko, about it, said she will try to petition to the Olympic trial. So unfortunately, though, she is out today.
Yeah. 18-year-old from Frisco, Texas. So Kalia Lincoln not going to compete anymore tonight. We'll see Simone Biles here in the next rotation on balance beam. Back with a reminder, Friday, July 26th, the Olympic Games return live from Paris on NBC and Peacock. Opening ceremony right along the Seine, Arc de Triomphe down to the all along that great avenue. Sunday, July 28th, by the way, first day of women's gymnastics. Earlier, that shot of Jade Carey and Simone Biles. They compete against each other, but with each other on the team, too.
Yeah, I love to see it. Jade told me yesterday that they're always laughing together, and it was good to see this shot. She said it's just good to have other Olympians to lean on because we're a bit older and it's a bit harder. And she said it would be really nice if we could all make the team again, and they have a great shot.
4 gymnasts the last time around. Now you have 5 on the Olympic team. So 1 extra, but that eventual in the final of the team event, 3 up and 3 count. That's where the pressure comes in.
Yeah, well, all the past Olympians that are in this competition are top 8. So it's not out of the question that we would see that scenario.
So Jade Carey over to uneven bars now. You know, think about that second spot too, and I know this is the first of 2 nights, but remember the top 2 from these national championships guaranteed spots at the trials. Right now it's Simone Biles, Sky Blakely going into this rotation.
Jade has new routine construction for her this year, and she had a fall, uncharacteristic. Didn't quite have the numbers and the confidence at Classics just 2 weeks ago, so I know she's a little angry and wants to make this bar routine. Right here, that's where the problems came. Got a little off rhythm right before the dismount, but absolutely a strong improvement from 2 weeks ago. She said she got a little nervous because there was adrenaline and she went too fast and too hard. So even though she's competing all year, it's important to note that these big crowds, you really have to practice that feeling of competing again.
Get that number in a moment. Over to vault and Suni Lee in 8th place after 2 rotations. 21-year-old from St. Paul, Minnesota, who just became a star in Tokyo.
And this is her first time doing this vault in 3 years. It's a really big moment for Suni Lee. Yurchenko double full.
So far, so good for Suni Lee.
Yeah, you can see her take a breath of just so happy that she put that to her feet.
Rotation 3 here in Fort Worth. Sky Blakely having a night in 2nd after the 2nd rotation.
Yeah, she looks good. There are some upgrades in this tumbling pass. Opens double layout with a full twist. Oh, man, that is a big deduction. 3/10 deduction for both feet being out of bounds, plus the deduction for the hop. She told me that Classics wasn't her best meet. We knew she was capable of more, and she went back in the gym, worked on the details, worked on consistency, and she said she feels way more ready now than she did at Classics, and it's showing in her routines.
Yeah, it was a build day to day in training, in practice, getting to this point, but just a couple of weeks, so much can change since Classic.
It's hard because these athletes don't want to be 100% right now. They want to be 100% at Olympic trials and the Olympics, but these coaches are reminding them they don't want to peak now, which is tough for perfectionists like gymnasts.
13.5 uneven bars, the number for Jade Carey. That does have to be tough because you're so competitive.
Yeah, every time you compete, you want to be at your best, but it's actually better if they have some room for improvement.
Pleased with the number 14 on vault for Suni Lee?
Yeah, I think Suni is going to be very pleased to see that number and just to prove to herself again. The theme for Suni Lee is proving to herself. We keep hearing that come up when she talks to all of us, and this is something that she was nervous about coming into the competition, and knowing she still got it, I think that's going to add a lot of confidence to her bank.
How about Jordan Childs? There were some doubters a couple of weeks ago before Classic, and maybe she's not quite at the level that she was. Well, she put those to rest. A top 3 finish. She was in 3rd.
Yeah, I think if any doubters needed a reminder just how good Jordan is, you took a look at how she did at Classics, and we've been watching her in training, and she's got this dialed in focus that it's almost like it was 4 years ago at an Olympic year when nothing could stand in her way from making her routines. And I'm seeing that same spark from her here this weekend.
That lead up to the Olympics last time around was something else. She just routine after routine. She didn't miss.
Yeah.
And you said it, Terry, and we're, like Sam said, you're seeing a little bit of that now in her. And she told us, Sam, the other day, said, I'm competing a little, practicing a little bit angry and aggressive, and you can see that edge to her, and when she has that edge, look out.
There's nothing better than being angry before you get on beam. And I'm trying to explain why, and it's because there's no hesitation. The emotion is so raw, and you're very aggressive. And that usually bodes well for balance beam. Slight adjustment in that triple series. You know, it was interesting. I asked her, how does she compete at her best on beam? And she said it was her teammate Simone Biles that has taught her how to stay grounded. She thinks about squeezing her core and having good posture throughout this routine. Ooh, great save from Jordan Childs. She was crooked and almost didn't get that connection and veteran move to work through it. It wasn't her best routine, but it's actually more impressive. If I was the selection committee, to see someone as crooked and off balance as Jordan not come off the beam than it is to see an athlete do a beam routine perfectly.
He's got family members here watching. There they are. Timothy and Gina are parents. They got T-shirts made up. Jordan Childs is that girl, it says. So much fun to watch her in Tokyo at the Olympics last time around, and in the lead up to Tokyo, and now once again to Paris. There's the reaction. Well, except for the one sleeping. Named after Michael Jordan. We saw him compete angry a few times.
Yeah, just a few times, and it worked out for him. But that's Jordan Childs' motto for the year is, I'm that girl. And it's a simple phrase that serves as a daily reminder of who she is and what she's capable of. She looks good.
There's the number for Sky on floor exercise, 13-2. Step out of bounds in the penalty. Meanwhile, in 4th place, certainly in the mix, not only here, but overall for the Olympics, Kayla DiCello. This on floor, short time ago.
She's one of the athletes that competed in college just last year, but took a hiatus from NCAA gymnastics to focus on her elite training.
And you might say why. The skills, the routines are different.
Yeah, you train a lot less hours in NCAA, and the difficulty is not as high. And so she felt like it was going to behoove her to train with her club coach, Kelly Hill. She's trained a lot of Olympians and has that experience. Her coach, Kelly Hill, was actually in retirement, and she said the only person she would come out of retirement for is Kayla DiCello.
High praise.
Really solid routine from Kayla.
See that number updated already up there, so she's jumped over Sky Blakely and Jordan Childs into first place.
That is huge for Kayla DiCello. She's one of those all-around athletes that is solid across the board and can fill those spots in an Olympic Games.
Yeah, 13.85, the number that allowed her to jump up into first. Remember, Simone Biles still to come here in this rotation 3. Number 4, Jordan Childs, 13.7. So right now in second overall, just ahead of Sky Blakely. But Simone Biles in first, heading into the 3rd rotation. And as she heads over to the balance beam, we check out the Prevagen memorable moment. She's had so many, Sam.
So many. I don't know how you pick which moment is the most memorable, but this one is big. In Tokyo, when she won the medal on balance beam after dealing with the twisties. And then, of course, coming back at 2023 World Championships to deliver a routine like this.
Prevagen memorable moment, courtesy of Simone Biles. Yeah, it was the bronze medal. And it was the very end of the Olympics. And so we got to see Simone again compete in Tokyo, and she ends up making the podium there. Record-setting 8th U.S. all-around title last year, going for number 9 this time around.
Now she's just trying to beat her own records. She has so many across the board.
You take nothing for granted, though, in an Olympic year. You know, you make that comeback. You know what you went through in Tokyo, and now step by step once again here.
Yeah, the journey has not been easy for Simone, but what I have so much respect for is that she continues to push herself, not only with the difficulty across the board, but the training that she does mentally outside of the gym, and really setting a precedent and is a trailblazer for the importance of mental health and working on self-care as an athlete outside of practice. Simone's a really quick beam worker. I always say that the quicker you finish a skill, the less time you have to make a mistake. I think Simone does that well. Nice, solid connection. This routine is on fire right now. Her arms are in the perfect places on these skills. Think of your arms like the steering wheel, Terry. So you want to keep them equal distance over the beam, because if they're both on the left side, you're going to go to the left. And Simone is on tonight. Finishes full in. It looks easy. We've heard rumors that she's going to bring back a more difficult dismount, that double-double. Maybe we'll see it at trials, because this routine looks comfortable for her.
That's the only misstep of the night, the high five that Laurent did not get.
That's what I'm talking about.
This was a wolf turn. This is actually the biggest mistake I saw in the competition. She got a little off balance at the end, but saves it, moves on, and does a really nice job working the beam aggressively. Quick to that finish position, no wobbles. And the dismount, very difficult. Back handspring, back handspring. You can see the beam is so skinny, only 4 inches wide. big difficulty to finish that. And she's got more in the tank.
That landing spot on, but this wasn't. No, okay, a hug. All right, that'll do.
They got to get back in the gym and work on those high fives. That's the biggest deduction here.
Lay down.
A little bit out of breath, but that's about it. So we'll get that number in a moment. Wait for that. Leanne Wong in 7th after the second rotation. This was on uneven bars.
Nice handstand. That's a really important part of college gymnastics. So you notice all of the NCAA athletes are a little bit more refined with the handstand positions. Great work from high to low. Missed connection right there, so her start value won't be as high as she's hoping for, but the execution score should still be good. And when we talk about execution, it's are the legs together? Are they straight? Is the rhythm good?
Coach liked it. Judges like it. 13-9. Yeah, that difficulty 5-7. So the execution 8-2 on that, though.
Yep.
And you see that number upper left. Overall, Simone Biles back into the lead based on the 14-8 on balance beam.
And
Jordan Chow so close.
Simone actually won beam at World Championships just last year with a 14-8. So, man, she's consistent.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where, when, she's got to deliver.
16-year-old from California, Tiana Sumina-Sekera getting set on balance beam.
This is one of Tiana's best events. She's just so beautiful to watch. Doesn't have as high difficulty as someone like a Simone Biles. But dynamic athlete. She does these skills like she's doing them on the floor. We talk a lot about the skills in a beam routine, but artistry is really important, especially in this quad. So the transitions between the skills, are their fingers elongated? Is their posture up? Is their chin up? There's so many details that the judges are looking for. This is a really nice routine. Finishing up here, double pike dismount, and that's going to be a big number for Tiana.
Really just getting things started on this level. See, he didn't even try to high five that time. He knew. It's right to the hug.
Hey, you can only get turned down so many times.
Exactly.
With the high five.
So we'll get the number for Tiana in a moment. And in the meantime, take you over to Hesley Rivera, the U.S. Junior all-around champ last year. A moment ago on floor exercise, the 15-year-old from New Jersey.
She's one of the younger athletes in this competition, but she has so much poise when she competes. It's definitely an athlete you're going to want to remember her name. Huge difficulty, double layout, full twist. great extension on these leaps. The athletes want to be above 180 degrees to get full credit. Out of bounds again. Over the line with that 1 foot means a 1/10 deduction. So 2 out of bounds. She's going to want to stay in bounds on day 2. Just a reminder, both days' scores are added together.
Even 13th for Hesley Rivera, who we saw a few weeks ago, struggled a bit in Hartford at the Classics, but prior to that at the Winter Cup was 3rd in the all-around. Gianna Suminasekara 13.7, the number on balance beam. All right, meanwhile, Jocelyn Robertson, who made that big move last year at this level, on beam.
Last year, she really had her breakout year, and people know her for floor and vault, but she's really holding her own on the other 2 events as an all-arounder as well. Just to put it in perspective, she has the 3rd highest start value on this event.
Let's go back to what John was talking about in terms of the makeup of a team, floor and vault. You think about those 2 events for her, and off the beam she comes.
Yeah, and that's gonna really hurt her score, both within the execution side and also the difficulty side, because she's not gonna get credit for that last flip. She didn't get any part of her feet on the beam.
I think something to keep in mind about Jocelyn is she's only been 100%, she told us, since March. And she had such an amazing 2023, and I think it's been a hard journey for her since she got hurt at that World Championships. But again, potentially, like you said, Sam, she can help the team on beam. Vault and floor is what she's known for, but she has 3 events where in this short amount of time between now and the trials, if she can get it together, she could still be a factor.
Yeah, you mentioned improvement and progress, and we really saw that on her other events already here today.
Fought for the landing at the end, but the mistake early on, and that's the expression on her face. So we continue. We head to that final rotation with Simone Biles leading the way in Fort Worth. We head to the final rotation here at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Night 1 for the women. That lead for Simone Biles nearing the 3-point mark, and then very close to Cello, Childs, Blakely. Sky was up there in 2nd through much of the night, and all the way down to Suni Lee in 7th place. So very close after that top number from Simone Biles. Terry Gannon back with Sam Petchik. How about what we've seen from Simone?
She just looks incredible. I mean, she looks like she never took any break from the sport. Her difficulty is there. She's comfortable when she's competing, and you see that swagger in her eyes.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Charlize Jones out with the injury, so the 2nd spot really open, and 1 point separates the 2nd spot from the 7th spot heading into 1 rotation here.
I'm laughing because these athletes are doing exactly what they wanted to do. They're looking strong. Their upgrades are looking confident when they're competing, and it's going to be a dogfight for the rest of the meet.
Remember, this just night 1 of 2 at the National Championships. We head to the 4th rotation next here in Fort Worth. We head to the final rotation here in Fort Worth. Suni Lee about to be on uneven bars. We saw her compete a few weeks ago. She did not compete at this event. John, important routine coming up for her?
I think that is an understatement, Terry. If my opinion matters, and I'm going to get controversial here, this, I think, is the most important single routine out of all the gymnastics being done when piecing together that Olympic team. That puzzle with a lot of different solutions, I think, revolves around a routine like this, because it is so important to Team USA. This is not their best event, the uneven bars, but Suni Lee is a difference maker. If she can get back to the form we saw in Tokyo, she will be on this team. This one right here matters more than any other.
Bronze medalist at the Olympics. Here is Suni Lee.
Yeah, I agree. This is important, but she's only doing not full strength in this bar routine. They're working on building stamina under pressure. That's the goal of this whole meet. And these connections are looking smooth. They said her body comp has changed so significantly with the medications, and to put it to her feet and to do it very easily, I mean, there's more in the tank, John. She delivered exactly what you wanted to see from Suni Lee.
You know it, and her coach, Jess Graba, said during the training, he goes, this is kind of like a last half of a routine for her. But that right there, that last half, that's darn near a final routine at a World Championships or an Olympic.
I would have paid a lot of money to have that routine be my entire routine. And it's just a last half for her.
And just to remind people what we talked about early in the night, 2 different types of kidney disease, which she's come back from. I mean, working out the medication has been such a challenge, and going to the Mayo Clinic now once every 3 months for treatment. The endurance, the stamina, the confidence to build up to this moment.
Yeah, exactly, Terry. Jess Graba, her coach right there, saying that her stamina is better, but her belief in the stamina is not quite there. So every moment that she delivers under pressure is increasing her own confidence in herself.
All right, while that was taking place, a moment ago, Sky Blakely in 4th after 3 rotations, her effort on vault.
And this is really important. She's got a big vault. She's been working on it for a while, and this is the moment we're hoping to see it in competition. It's called a chung. That's what she was hoping to do.
Guys, I've been waiting for this vault for a long time. You've been harassing me about it. But I'll tell you, Suni's bar routine, the most important routine, that one right there, the second most important, because there is a domino effect. When she does that vault, there's a lot of other athletes that might lose their spot because of that upgrade. That was unbelievable.
Okay, truth be told, John was jumping up and down and celebrating when she did in warm-ups earlier tonight.
What can we say? We're Sky Blakely fans.
Look at that,
15. 15, the number.
Oh, wow, that is money.
14.3 on bars for Suni Lee. Remember, she was in 7th heading in this final rotation. Kayla DiCello, that second spot right behind Simone Biles after 3 rotations, getting set here on vault.
She's going to be doing a double twisting Yurchenko. So the goal for her is to do it without as many deductions. Whoa.
Okay then.
It's not as much difficulty as the vault we just saw from Sky Blakely, so she needed to do it as perfectly as possible, and she really couldn't have done it much better, especially with that stuck landing. Round off onto the board, back handspring onto the table, 2 flips in the air, just floats to that landing.
She was 0.4 of a point ahead of Sky Blakely heading into this rotation, so we'll see. They congratulate each other. We send it over to Zora.
Jordan Chiles will not let anyone break her soul or her spunk. She is going to express herself out there on the mat this weekend. You can expect Jordan Chiles to do a Beyonce Renaissance theme floor routine. 5 different songs, a cozy leotard and diva nails to match. Is the Beehive picking up on the clues here? Chiles told us Beyonce's Renaissance tour and documentary really inspired her. She could relate to Beyonce's story of still having energy no matter what life throws your way. Chiles said she didn't know how the crowd would react to the new routine a few weeks ago at Classics, but you would think that they were her protector. She told us she was thrilled when everyone cheered.
I got the song titles. I heard them.
Did you, Terry?
Yeah.
I was going to test you after this, but I had the chance to ask Jordan if she's met Beyonce. She goes, oh man, I would love to meet her. I would probably pass out. So Beyonce, if you're watching this right now, just DM Jordan.
There you go. And here she goes on floor.
Artistry is so important to floor teams, and no one does it better than Jordan Chiles. The way she's able to command the arena, she's just a natural performer. She likes to think of herself as an artist on stage.
Oh.
Really shy on that landing, just didn't have enough height for the rotation. Disappointing.
Disappointing now, but during that routine, you just get the sense she's enjoying it as much as everybody watching it.
Yeah, she makes a concerted effort to bring the crowd in. She says it helps ease her nerves. So just looked like she didn't have enough stamina to make it through the last pass there. Let's see it. It's a double layout. We've seen her make this many times before, but she just threw her head back too quickly and didn't get the height she needed for the rotation. And you can see it actually surprised her there because she was so close to making it to her feet.
Yeah, honestly, Sam, I think she landed a little stiff-legged. She was just a fraction off, and I think she might have thought she had it dialed in there.
So she was in third place going into this final rotation, a 1/10 of a point behind Kayla DiCello, who we saw on vault. And now the number for Kayla, 14-4.
Phenomenal score. Really high execution score. Not quite the difficulty from Sky Blakely or Simone Biles, but strong execution.
Yeah, that's why we saw Blakely with the 15, the number there for that effort in vault. And still to come, Simone Biles. She will finish up on floor exercises. We continue. Don't forget to get social with the hashtag Xfinity Champs and follow at XfinityChampionships.com for more info. National Championships taking place once again. They were here in 2021. Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. First of two nights for the women. Jordan Chiles 12-7-5 with that mistake on floor exercise. So Sam, you and I talked about what has stood out here tonight so far. John, how about you throughout the evening?
I mean, it's been a great night, I think. And the one thing that I think is the headliner, and she's just used to being the headliner, it's Simone Biles and that vault. The highest scoring vault in the world so far in this quad is that right there. And it just gets better every time I see it. That was absolutely amazing. But really, the other headline to me is we talked about at the top of the show, putting together a team and who in the all-around can contribute. I mentioned Kayla DiCello. She has been outstanding across the board. Jumps up on bars. I think she looked great there. Jordan Chiles had that mistake on floor, but nonetheless, great vault here, great bar routine earlier. I think she's made a strong case for herself. But of course, Sky Blakely and this vault. Across the board been solid, but that vault right there, almost by itself, can get her on the Olympic team. Those are some of my highlights.
It's pretty amazing, the anticipation for that vault, too. Been talking about it for quite some time. And when's it going to be ready? Will it be here? Will it be at trials? And to watch it tonight is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really special. These athletes are bringing it this year. And something I like to do is watch the coach's reaction. And Sky Blakely's coach, Evgeny Marchenko, comes back with the biggest smile on his face and is high-fiving everyone around. I mean, that is special. He's coached some of the greats.
I also think they're really thankful that I'm not going to ask them anymore, is Sky going to do the vault?
So the numbers tonight for Simone Biles, adding up to that total, and one event left, and that's on floor exercise. And anytime you get a chance to watch Simone Biles really do anything in gymnastics, but on floor, it is a treat. Just relaxing right now, though.
She does her best when she's taking a deep breath, and calm has been a common theme.
There's that deep breath. Saw Laurent Landy in the background setting up the mats, which is acceptable on floor exercise. So many different rules, Sam, that we talk about and vault and whether you can be there or not as a coach.
Yeah, there's I think a lot of rules will change because of Simone Biles and the difficulty she's presenting in this sport. But you're going to want to notice this first tumbling pass. It's a triple double on floor. Two flips, three twists, the hardest tumbling pass in the meet.
Oh.
She's been working on staying in bounds and really focusing on trying to walk into that difficult pass. Incredible.
Are you impressed yet?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to be impressed with in this floor routine. She's really been working on keeping her tumbling passes in bounds, and that's just special, because if anybody else was trying to do a triple double, they would be running so fast to generate the power, and Simone Biles has to take some off in order to control that difficult pass. But this routine is looking really easy for her, and that's a good sign heading into the Olympics.
You got it.
Look at her casually walking, gallivanting, if you will, into a triple double. Count them, just try.
Yeah, Sam, talking to her coach before the meet, saying how she has to almost walk into that. I'm like, seriously? You're going to tell us she's walking into the hardest pass in women's gymnastics?
And this is a veteran move. I want you to watch her heels when she lands. Now remember, 1 foot out of bounds is a 1/10 deduction, but both feet is a 3/10 deduction. But look at Simone Biles. She finishes, knows that she's close to the line, and doesn't put her heels down. Saves herself 3/10. Wow.
First glance, I wasn't sure, and the replay confirming it.
Not that she needed those extra 3/10, just in case you're wondering.
I lost my whole bad right now. The volume. Yeah, seriously.
It is pretty amazing to watch the other gymnasts too, even the ones that are teammates at the Olympics, not just the young gymnasts who are here first time on the senior level competing, but they all stop and watch.
Yeah.
I mean, during warm-ups, they stop and watch.
She's a trailblazer, and not just with everything that she's been through throughout her career, but just from a gymnastics perspective, the difficulty, and she's really showing that it is possible. All these skills that I did not think were possible, to be able to see it in real life is truly a special moment.
And what we don't see are the hours at the gym, early morning, all day long, and the work that you put in to get to this point, be able to do that. And obviously not everybody can do those skills, or anybody else can do those, but
yeah,
the hours that you put in when no one's watching.
And an athlete like Simone Biles, she obviously has the talent, but you have to add on, to your point, the hard work. So it's that perfect combination of talent, hard work, belief in yourself, and drive to want to be crazy enough to try these skills.
And accepting that leadership role too, at her own gym with the other athletes, but in the world of sport overall. 15-2, the number for that effort.
Guys, I think she's so much bigger than just gymnastics. Terry, you've been around sports for a long time. You want to show up to see Tiger. You want to show up to see Jordan in that big play. And Simone, she's like an artist. She's like a musician, and people want to just show up to see greatness, and she embodies it in every way.
There is no question. Gianna Suminasekara follows that on floor, as Simone's lead is 3.4 points.
This is an event where Tiana's added some upgrades as well. She was 4th on this event at the US Classics. And it's another good routine in Tiana's belt.
The Landys are busy coaches tonight, by the way.
Man, they're having a night.
Intimidating to follow Simone Biles on floor like that.
I would normally say yes, but she trains with her every day. So
yeah.
I think to everyone in the crowd, and you and I, Terry, Simone Biles is just incredible to watch, but she gets to see that every day in training.
Go back a couple of seasons, she was first on floor at the Junior U.S. Championships. All right, how about the last event for Jade Carey in 6th after 3 rotations?
This is the event that I've seen the most improvement in Jade. She said college has really helped her on beam because it used to be an event that she got the most nervous on, but competing it all season with a lot of pressure at Oregon State, she's been able to manage those nerves much better. She said at her best, she's really present and she's relaxed aggressive. Great job sinking into the beam. Whenever you feel a little crooked, it's good to bend your knees on the landing to adjust quickly. This is a calm beam routine. She does not look nervous at all. And a really good beam routine. All of those quote-unquote basic foundation routines she did in college has set her up really nicely for moments like this. Tanya Chaplin, her Oregon State head coach.
And dad.
And dad.
So in sixth after 3 rotations. Remember how close it was, though, behind Simone Biles. 13-7 for floor exercise. Tiana Sumidasekara.
Man, she just keeps getting better every single time she competes. It's exciting to watch.
Leanne Wong in 5th place heading into the final rotation.
And you may notice they're competing separately tonight, but they're on the same Florida team.
Moment to go on balance beam.
Great extension and presentation on that opening leap pass.
Is there a spot you're focusing on when you're on beam?
Yeah, great point, Terry. The best beam workers always look at the end of the beam on all of your skills. You can see her spotting it even longer on the wolf turn because she was off, so it centers you. You can practice this at home if you're trying a balance exercise versus closing your eyes and then do it again, spotting an object that's not moving.
I'll get right on that.
So the name of the game on beam is not how perfect you can be, is how quickly you can adjust. And that little wobble right there would have been a fall for some of the younger athletes, but not Leanne. She, again, does a great job minimizing potential deductions. That's her specialty. Great job. She always has good posture, good presentation, and now you're seeing that difficulty score come up as well.
Execution 7.95, so 13.75 the total on beam for Leanne Wong, rounding out this final rotation. The number for Jade Carey, 13.45.
Yeah, didn't quite get the difficulty that I think she was hoping for there, but execution, we're seeing it improve.
Building on the road to trials and eventually the Olympics in Paris. She hopes, they all hope, to be a part of that team. Simone Biles leads the way. Sky Blakely, a great night. Going to hear from her when we continue. The 2024 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships brought to you by Core Hydration. Whatever wellness journey you're on, you have to start somewhere. Start at the core. By Nike. Introducing the Nike Air Max DN featuring dynamic air. The next generation of air technology is here. Air Max DN. Feel the unreal. By Prevagen. And by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seats in the house with Xfinity because it's only live once. Gotten used to that. Hose right there, the 8-time U.S. all-around champ Simone Biles looking for number 9 in Fort Worth this week, leading the way after the opening night. Look at the lead too, it's more than 3 points, so extended that lead after the 3rd rotation. Sky Blakely right there, Kayla DiCello, Suni Lee, Leanne Wong. So there's your top 8 with Jade Carey rounding out the top 8 as we send it over to Zora.
Terry, I was just telling Sky that she crushed it today. Everybody else was telling you the same thing. That vault was new. Why was the time right to bring it out today?
No, I was feeling confident. I've been working really hard on it the past couple weeks, and it finally, I felt it had that amount of readiness to bring it here at this competition.
I know visualization is important for you. So what event today did you see in your mind, and then how did it turn out?
I'd say bars. I think I visualized the most on that event, and I really visualized myself doing a great bar routine, and I feel like I did.
All around great meet. If there's something you want to tweak between now and Sunday, what is it?
It would definitely be floor. Staying in balance is the goal, and just scoring a little bit higher.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zora, thanks. It was a treat to see that vault, and we'll see. The second night of competition from Sky Blakely. Simone Biles, absolutely fantastic here in the opening night. The leader after this first of 2 nights for the women. And we check out right now tonight's best seat in the house highlight, presented by Xfinity, and it is courtesy of Simone Biles. John, it was, again, something to watch.
I mean, you could pick so many Simone Biles highlights, but we're going to pick the triple-double that she just walks into. Let's take a look at it. Count the twists. We've got 1 twist. And then there's 2. She's not done yet. 1 more time before she hits the floor. That is 3. And I mean, if you want the best seat in the house, I mean, this person right there probably has a pretty good look at it.
Xfinity keeps gymnastics fans in the zone with a connection you can rely on. Stream sport from the best seat in the house with Xfinity because it's only live once. So you told us to count the rotations in the air. John just did it.
Yeah.
He broke it down for us.
Yeah, you got to count the flips and the twists with Simone. She's always throwing something crazy at you.
All right, 1 night in the books, but another one still to come on Sunday for Simone Biles and the best in the nation. And that does it for night 1 of the women's competition. Remember, you can watch all the routines at the USA Gymnastics YouTube channel after the broadcast. It is Simone Biles leading the way. Jordan Childs with the family there watching tonight. Pretty fun. Biggest names in women's gymnastics here in the U.S. competing. For Sam Pescic, John Roethlisberger, Zora Stevenson, our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon saying so long for now from Fort Worth, Texas.